Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. We've got some news for you this video. Tyler, start us off.
Alright, so to start this off, we have two pieces of news that we're going to talk about. We're going to start with the big news that came out earlier today, and this is on the pass interference rule that's been in play ever since the NFC Championship game with the Rams and the Saints. You should know what happened if you're a football fan. Anyways, so the rule, this is finalized today for the rule. So basically, what the rule is that pass interferences can be reviewable within 2 minutes if there's clear reason to review it, and it will not be overturned unless there's clear and obvious reasons to be pass interference or for there not to be pass interference. And for Hail Marys, this was also a problem. Every Hail Mary will be reviewed, but it will be on stricter terms of reviewing. So what do you guys think about that rule? Do you think that's a good rule?
So, just to clarify, it's only reviewable inside of 2 minutes?
I believe so.
Okay, because I like that, because I feel like honestly, with how, how much of a contact game football is, I feel like if you just let it be, whenever, no matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is, no matter how much time's left, then the games are going to just take too long, and, these referees are human, but I feel like that's what's part of the game. It makes the game, more authentic, and it's played by humans, so I think it should be decided by humans. So, it's just, I like that it's only inside of 2 minutes, because, that would have fixed the incident in the NFC title game, I believe, correct? That was inside of 2 minutes, right? And then, but with the Hail Mary thing, I just, my question with that is, what defines a Hail Mary? Is it X amount of yards? You got to be from the blank yard line with playing time left? So I'm just curious, is how you said it's reviewable for all Hail Marys, correct?
I think so. It's under stricter terms.
Under stricter terms. I'm just curious, what are those terms? What defines a Hail Mary, by their rule? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just something that I have interest in. But, I think that we're going to see how it goes this year, and, then we'll have a better idea of how I feel about it.
Yeah, so it will allow it as long as it's consistent with the guidelines for officiating the play on the field. So, yeah, so big news there. Jordan, do you have any thoughts about that? What do you think about that?
So about the whole pass interference thing in general, of course, I do think it's a good idea that they do something about it. Obviously, what would have happened in the Rams-Saints game, it's almost impossible to do nothing about it at this point. But also, football is a sport where you're touching people. We're going to have to be honest here, you're contacting people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're covering a receiver and you're not allowed to touch them, then it's just going to be a boring game. The receiver is going to be so much if you're just going to be too tight on not letting them fight. So I understand why they're making this rule. I like how they're trying to fix this rule, and I like how it's within 2 minutes. That's a good idea. I think it's a good restriction on it. The only thing I don't like is the Hail Mary part, because on a Hail Mary, obviously there is going to be a lot of pushing and shoving, but that's on both sides. So it's really hard to make a call there. Both sides are going to be pushing and shoving. Offense going to be pushing for the ball. Defense going to be pushing people away. Just a Hail Mary is just such a special play in the NFL that it's going to be so hard to go and review, because you could look at it and say, okay, this offensive player pushed off, but then this defensive player pushed him away, and then another offensive player applied a push, and this defensive player pushed him down. So it's just so much stuff happening in a Hail Mary that it's kind of hard to judge, so I'm interested to see how that goes. Luckily, there's not too many Hail Marys in every game, but so that's my thoughts on that rule.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of contact from both sides there, so that's probably why they're having the stricter rules on it. So yeah, that's really what we just wanted to talk about in terms of the pass interference changes. That was just big news that we felt like we wanted to talk about, and something that's not as big news, but it just leads into the subject that we're interested to talk about. Recently, OBJ said that he was not able to reach his full potential with the Giants, and now he believes that he'll be able to do that with the Browns and Baker Mayfield and what they have going with that offense and Freddie Kitchens. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel like that's true? Do you feel like he's just bluffing here? What do you guys think?
Well, I think it's basically, I just think that OBJ is super psyched to not only be on the Browns, but just to be on the Browns with the current players they have. He's got his buddy Jarvis Landry that he played with in college at LSU. So their receiving corps, their two best guys went to the same school, so that's obviously something that gets Odell excited. And then the second round pick, Greedy Williams, also went to LSU, so you got that LSU kind of like vibe there. I'm sure he likes that. And then you got the young quarterback Baker Mayfield, which how could you not be excited to play with him? Had a great rookie year. And obviously, back at the time of the 2018 draft, it was which quarterback will be the one? Which quarterback should the Browns take? Should it be Darnold or Rosen or Mayfield or Josh Allen? And they took Mayfield, and I think it's a little early to tell for sure, but I think they very well may have been right with that choice, short and long term. So I really think he's just excited to play with Baker Mayfield in that kind of revamped offense because, they're one of the most hyped up teams here as we head into training camp next month. So I just think he's kind of he's almost feeling the hype is what I'm saying. He wants to win. I think when he talks about full potential, he's not only talking about himself, but he's talking about winning and contending. Because I don't think he would do that on the Giants. I think he can do it on the Browns as they'll be ready to compete in the AFC North.
Yeah, I don't think this is a knock on the Giants. I just feel like he just his personal opinion was that wasn't the right offense for him. He said that he couldn't reach his potential mentally, spiritually, physically. He just couldn't do anything at all. So it's not too much of a knock saying, no, I don't like the players on this team. This team sucked. I wasn't going to do anything. It was just the situation that he was in. He just didn't feel all too comfortable in it. But I do think that Odell is going to be able to have another great season for the first time on the Browns. So there's going to be a lot to see from Odell Beckham Jr., lots of highlights as usual. Hopefully we'll see some one-handed catches. I do think that I don't think he's reached his full potential yet. He's in the prime of his career right now, but there's definitely still more for Odell Beckham Jr. to do. Even though he's already one of the best receivers in the game, he has the potential to be the best receiver in the game, and we'll see if he can do that with the Browns.
Mm-hmm. And I think Odell is just. You guys covered a lot of it. Just really hard to add on to what you guys have said here, but
It's just so smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But obviously on the Giants, there's quarterback controversy, and the defense was always just not the greatest in the world. At least it was when he was there. So I'm sure that really frustrated him. Obviously, Saquon Barkley had joined that team. I think that would have gave him a little bit of potential as long as they found a quarterback, and especially with developing Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard around him, that could have given him some weapons. But I do think that he's on a much more talented team at this point. At least it looks like on paper a much more talented team. So I think it's going to be good for him. I think, obviously, like Tyler said, he's not really taking a shot at them. But I think he is somewhat correct in some aspects that he will reach his full potential when he is on the Browns. So it's going to be fun to see how that happens. So I'm excited to see the Browns team this year.
Before we wrap it up, you guys got anything else to say?
I just think I just kind of want to agree and add on to what Jordan said, as I'm really eager to see what the Browns have been hyped up, and I'm hyping them up too. I'm part of this. I think they'll be able to be a lot better this year and possibly win the AFC North. Excuse me, if everyone stays healthy. So I just think it kind of what matters is they have to perform. We say, oh, they got so and this guy and drafted this guy. Those guys all have to prove it on the field. So I just feel like I'm eager to see if the hype can translate onto actual game days.
Yeah, I do think there deserves to be hype in Cleveland, not as much as they're getting. I think Cleveland's going to be a solid team. They'll be a playoff team, but I don't think that the expectation is to be Super Bowl, and that's what it seems to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think that's going to wrap up our video today. We talked about the pass interference replay review, finalized decision there, and we talked about OBJ, how he couldn't reach his full potential with the Giants, and we're going to see if he's able to do that with the Browns. If you guys like this news type of thing, let us know down in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.